tutti ragazzi e bentornati nuovamente sul canale Raistlin. Eccoci con una nuovissima puntata di Whispers of a Machine. Bene, nell'episodio precedente abbiamo finito anche il giorno 2, adesso stiamo al terzo giorno di investigazioni. Abbiamo scoperto un po' di cosucce e adesso vediamo che cosa succede in questo nuovo episodio di Whispers of a Machine. Buona visione!
There's that feeling again. Whoa.
Morning, Agent. Dr. Patterson asked me to tell you to meet him in the morgue. He's done with the remains from the recycling center.
All right, thanks. I'll go have a look before I pay Epos a visit. He looks sick. I shouldn't bother him.
Well, Leonard, it's been quite gross working with you. Hello again. I've got a present for you, Agent.
Is that so?
Yep, right here on this tray. If you're a fan of minced meat, I've got a bucket full of Leonard out back, too.
I think I'll pass on that one.
Good choice. The seasoning is subpar, to say the least.
You take your jokes way too far, Doctor. Now, what have you found?
Well, obviously, the poor man was shredded. Fortunately for him, it happened when he was already dead.
Yeah, I came to the same conclusion. Can you tell me anything about the cause of death?
Not much with the remains in this state. No signs of toxic substances, but that obviously still leaves a lot of options open.
Noted. So what's this in front of me?
Oh, yes. I noticed a pattern on Leonard's skin. Likely a tattoo. These are all the pieces I could find. Not sure how they fit together, but I kept them in case you wanted to have a look.
All right, I'll check them out. Huh. Looks like Leonard had this symbol tattooed on him. I'll copy it to my notebook. My sketch of Leonard's tattoo. Looks like some kind of symbol. I had some more things to ask.
Shoot.
Do you know who Katerina Berg is, the school teacher? She also calls herself Melinda.
I know who she is, but that's about it. She's not a patient.
She's not? Even though you're the only doctor in town.
I wouldn't read too much into it. As far as I know, she's a young, healthy woman, and she moved here just a few years ago. She may not have needed any medical care since her arrival.
What's your opinion on Volter, the robot maker?
Oh, he's a bundle of laughs, isn't he? Sometimes he helps me out at the clinic when I need to calm down an anxious child. Nissa, his little robot, is an amazing tool. First, the child helps me treat Nissa, and afterwards, I treat the child. Seeing the whole process in a safe and playful space makes them much more at ease.
What do you know about Leonard Dahl?
Polite and well-spoken fellow, judging by the few times I met with him.
All right. What did you meet with him about?
Well, typically just routine work when someone hurt themselves in the recycling center. Seems like a hazardous workplace. I hear about accidents occurring there almost on a weekly basis.
What's your opinion on the Free Church of Epos?
I try to steer clear of those people. Any form of superstition, religious or otherwise, is of no interest to me.
That's enough questions for now.
Okie dokie.
I finally got my hands on the murder weapon.
Ah, yes, it definitely looks the part. Where'd you find it?
At the scene of Leonard's murder.
Any prints or traceable remains on it?
I'm afraid not.
Well, at least it ties him to Carl and Maya. Either they're all victims of the same murderer, or he killed them himself.
Yeah, always something. Hey there, how are you holding up?
Oh, you again. I'm doing okay. Any luck with the case?
Some.
I suppose.
Do you know anything about the murder of Carl Oscarson?
Not really, just hearsay. I'm sure you've heard it all before.
Do you know anything about the murder of Maya Strand?
No, I rarely go to the museum these days.
What do you know about the conduit?
You mean like for electricity?
No, it's an organization. Pro AI.
Oh, never heard of them.
What can you tell me about Leonard's death?
I already told you everything I know about that.
What's your opinion on the Free Church of Epos?
I don't know much about it, but going to church doesn't sound like the worst idea. Maybe I should go and light a candle for Leonard.
Did you know Carl Oscarson?
A little bit. We both grew up here in town, but we weren't friends or anything. He seemed like the last person you'd think would get murdered, though. Wouldn't hurt a fly.
What's your opinion on Gabriel?
I couldn't say. I've had very little contact with him.
Do you know Katerina Berg?
No, I have no idea.
What's your opinion on Commissary Anderson?
I normally don't have much contact with the police, but from what I can tell, he doesn't.
What do you think of Stina Ruth, the councilwoman?
Never met her, but I'm not much for politics. I have enough to worry about down here in the real world.
Did you know?
I did. She was.
What's your view of Dr.
He's as weird as they come, but everyone knows that. He's a fine doctor anyway.
What do you think of Volter?
Oh man, he's hilarious, but some of his robots really give me the creeps.
So tell me what you know.
We already went through this. I don't have anything.
I'll let you get back to your drink.
Okay, good luck out there.
Can you tell me anything about this symbol?
Whoa. Leonard had that thing tattooed on his chest.
Yeah? Any idea of what it means?
Not exactly, but when I asked him about it, he just said, it represents my devotion. Whatever that means.
Noted. Hi there.
Hello, stranger.
Newcomer, right? What brings you to town?
Is it that obvious? I'm here for matters of the faith, you could say.
I understand. Well, best of luck with that. Do you recognize this symbol?
Is this like one of those, whatchamacallit, Rorschach tests?
It's Rorschach, and no.
Oh boy, can I go first, Pops?
Of course, lad.
Walter, find an off switch for the love of God.
Oh man, I had the best interpretation too. There was a wiener and everything.
Sorry about that. Boys will be boys, huh?
Hi again.
Hey there.
What do you know about the Free Church of Epos?
Oh, nothing much. I know their headquarters is over at the old mall past Northtown, but I've never been inside.
I'm off. See you later.
Take care.
Bye-bye,
He looks busy sifting through the junk. I'll leave him be.
Oh, you're back.
Sure am. I need to pick your brain.
Okay,
All right, I got what.
good. Talk to you later.
What do you make of this symbol?
Just looks like a stick figure to me.
That's evidence. I should. All right, I'm good.
Okay.
Change of venue?
Yes, this is where the recital will take place later. Great acoustic.
Ah, can I have a little foretaste?
Very well. The same wind, my dear. The same wind. Shook the walls of Jericho. Dried your tears. No Lee to be found. No trust, nor joy. This fire you were set to guard, and I to rest by its side. Your books and notes in disarray. It all seeks to delay us, while you face increasing chaos.
That was great. I love the ending.
You're too kind.
I don't want to share that with. Not sure what happened. Hi there.
Greetings, and welcome to the Free Church of Epos. If you wish, you can enter our public prayer room to the right for some silent contemplation.
All right, thanks. What about the rest of the church?
The other areas are off limits to non-members.
Oh. Can I become a member then?
Now is not a good time. We're preparing for a special guest who has come a long way. If you return next week, we'll see what we can do.
I understand. Thanks. I wonder if this special guest can help somehow. I'd guess those are members of the church. I don't recognize any of them. I don't see anything. Looks like some kind of public prayer room or chapel. There are a few people. I don't see any. A neat row of candles. A strange woman in hooded clothing. Her sleeve has the EPO symbol. Maybe this is the special guest headed for EPOs. So, have you heard about the storm?
I have, yes. It's the talk of the town. I'm glad I made it before it hit.
Oh yeah, that must be quite a relief. Recognize the symbol?
Nope, never seen that before.
That action doesn't... Commissary?
Yes.
Do you recognize this symbol?
Doesn't look familiar to me.
Commissary?
Yes.
This weapon killed Carl and Maya. I found it in the recycling center.
Then all three killings must be connected. Great work, Agent. We're one step...
I need to get out of sight first.
Oh, hello, Reverend. Sorry about the noise. The assembly hall is to your right, past the locker room.
Thank you. Looks like a timeline of how the EPO seal has changed over the years.
We've got an
Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Exodus 23. Suppose it wouldn't be a church without a Bible quote or two.
Oh, hello, Reverend. Sorry about the noise. The assembly hall is to your right, past the locker room.
Thank you. Looks like a timeline of... A bunch of storage boxes with initials on them. Several of the initials match people I know, but it could be a coincidence. If I had reason to believe one of them was Epos, it might be a good idea to come back here. I guess I could, but I have no reason to believe that Leonard has used one of these lockers. I don't see anything out of the ordinary. Yeah, that might work as a distraction for the guard outside. I need to be sure that I don't have a reason to return to this room, though. Some kind of assembly hall with plenty of people inside. I don't think I... Some kind of large pool or bathtub. I don't see any... I guess I could, but I have no reason to believe that Leonard has... A bunch of storage, several... That action doesn't seem productive to me. That combination makes no sense. That action doesn't seem productive to me. I don't think extra strength helps there. It's the key I found in the recycling center. Likely belonged to Leonard. It's the key I don't see any... I guess I could, but I have no reason to believe that Leonard has used one of these lockers. Not right now. I should explore this place while... That door must lead deeper into the complex. A bunch of storage, several of the, a bunch of several, a bunch of several, a bunch of several, a bunch of several, a bunch several, a bunch of several, a bunch of several, a bunch of several, a bunch several of the, a bunch of storage, several. A bunch of stored. Several of the initials match. A bunch of several. A bunch. Several. A bunch. Several of the initials. It's the key I found in the recycling center. Likely belonged to Len. Some kind of large pool. Not a bad idea, but I might want to take a closer look first.
Oh, okay. My apologies.
Close, but I don't think that's it. No way. It's the tattoo design. That must mean Leonard is a member of EPOS. Or, well, he was, at some point at least. I'll get rid of the sketch, now that I've identified the symbol. It says LD on this box right here. That's gotta be Leonard Dahl. Locked, obviously. Got a written piece of paper. Grandmaster Otto, if you are reading this, it means that I have failed. I'm sorry, but I didn't want to involve the church unless absolutely necessary. My brother has some things for you. They will be self-explanatory. I told him to only give them up to the person who repeats the famous quote from my favorite book. I'm sure you remember. Blessings from Leonard, your most humble and loyal servant. Seems like Leonard was up to something shady. I'll have to find his brother and figure out what the quote is. All right, let's see if this works.
What the heck?
That should keep him busy for a while. All right, it's loose now. I don't think extra strength helps there.
Six new members over the last month. The Bacarbo parish is also doing better now.
They managed to resolve their financial difficulties?
Oh yes, Elsa is doing great work there. Sending her on our behalf was the right call. That brings us to the subject of these horrid murders.
Vile acts, for certain. I pray that the church will stay clear of any blame.
Why shouldn't it? We had nothing to do with those atrocities.
I know that, old friend. But surely our enemies will not ignore an opportunity like this.
I suppose so. Our violent past coming back to haunt us.
Sadly, the fact that one of our people was victimized will inevitably draw eyes upon the church.
Yes, maybe it's in our best interest to invite the police as a gesture of good faith.
It would certainly show them that we have nothing to hide.
Very well. Let's bring the subject to a vote at the council tonight.
At the very least, it seems like the church leadership didn't sanction the murders. I'll wait a bit and see if they leave. Administrative paperwork. I don't think it's safe to go back that way. Wow, that's a lot of books. They have an impressive library here. I don't see anything. Wow, that's a...
Welcome, visitor. You can drop the smoke and mirrors routine, miss.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yes, you do. While you may fool my younger cohorts, this old man has had dealings with your kind before. Please do me the courtesy of removing that mask. Thank you. Much better circumstances for a civil conversation, wouldn't you say?
I guess so. I was half expecting you to yell for the guards.
Luckily, I am a man who defies expectations. Special Agent, Violent Crimes Central Bureau.
Oh, it's you again. The man from the train.
Indeed. I never forget a face, but I'm afraid I didn't catch your name.
It's Agent England.
Ah, I am Vilguns. I assume you are aware of our legal status.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm not here to cause any trouble. Just trying to do my job.
Why would you cause trouble? That sounds quite unnecessary.
Well, if, let's say, you were sheltering a murderer, I would have no choice.
Good thing there are no murderers here, then, for all parties involved.
Yeah. I overheard what you said to that priest. It's clear to me that you had nothing to do with the killings.
That's a relief. With that unpleasantry taken care of, perhaps I can be of assistance.
Not at the moment. What do you know about the murder in the workshop hall?
Not much at all. Only that a carpenter was brutally killed there in the night.
What do you know about the murder in the museum?
Only what my fellow church members have told me. That Maya Strand was stabbed to death by a mysterious killer.
What's your take on the conduit?
Oh, those heretics? Haven't heard anything of them in many years. As far as I know, they are firmly confined to the ash heap of history by now.
Some might argue with that. Your church has a violent past with them, hasn't it?
There's no denying that. We fought many battles with their kind in the youth of our movement.
And now?
Don't be absurd. They are practically eradicated, and we have been a peaceful group for decades.
What do you think about their teachings, then?
Certainly dangerous doctrines if left unchecked. The conduit believes humans will create God in their image, instead of the other way around. In their folly, they forget that humans are flawed, and that their creations will inevitably inherit those flaws. The false God they aspire to create may demand sacrifices they're not prepared for.
So Leonard Dahl, one of your members, was killed yesterday.
I had a feeling your inquiry would lead us to him.
Can you think of anyone who would want him dead?
No. He was a loyal member of the church for many years. Kind of a loner, but always helpful and polite. He did have a strangeness to him, though. A look in his eyes like he was stuck in perpetual contemplation. It seemed as if he was constantly on the verge of, but never quite able to reach, some sort of profound revelation.
Any hint of a violent side to him?
No. To my knowledge, Leonard never committed any violence, nor did he express any desire to do so.
This church, EPOS, what are your teachings?
At our core, we are an Orthodox Christian church. We believe in the one true God and his only Son, Jesus Christ.
And what sets your group apart from other Christians?
Two things: the reverence of the essential humanity in each and every one of us, and our stalwart opposition to false idols. Prior to the collapse, the great flood of our time, we arose as a reaction to the disgraceful habits of that era. The widespread worship of anything and everything but God. Wealth, fame, mindless pleasure. The sickening mutilation of our bodies to the point where some were more machine than human. And the worst of all, the pursuit of AI superintelligences. False gods that humans aspire to construct for themselves. We oppose it all for the glory of our Creator and the salvation in our future.
And how do you go about preventing people from worship?
Not by violence, if that's what you're implying. Such things belong to the past.
So it's just a coincidence that the only armed man I've seen in Nordson was right behind your doors?
Sadly, the world is still in a state where men with guns are a necessary evil. However, no laws have been broken. We have every right to bear arms.
Do you know what kinds of books Leonard liked to read?
One book he borrowed frequently was The Kingdom of God is Within You. In fact, it still hasn't been returned. It should be among his estate.
Would you be able to say if he had any favorite quotes from that book?
No, you should ask someone who spent more time with him.
Fine, I'll do that. What kind of book is it anyway?
It's about non-violence, to summarize.
Got it. Thanks. Do you know who Leonard Dahl's brother is?
I believe his name is Rolf. Quite a shady character, if you ask me.
Oh, the gardener, right?
Yes, that's him.
Do you know who Katerina Berg is, the school teacher? She also calls herself Melinda.
I believe I've seen her around town with the school children, but I don't know much about her.
That's evidence. I shouldn't show it to What's your opinion on Dr. Pearson?
He and I have quite different takes on life and death, but alas, a man of my age needs to see a physician regularly to keep the Grim Reaper at bay. So I grit my teeth and endure half an hour of his morbid humor for the sake of my health.
What's your opinion on Maya?
She was my polar opposite in almost every way. But I enjoyed the occasional late-night chess game with her in the canteen. It's fascinating how trivial activities like board games can bring such different people together. Goes without saying that I was as shocked and appalled as anyone when I learned of what happened to her.
That's all, for now.
Understood. I'll be here if you have more inquiry.
Oh, the passage led back here. Good. Since I left the door unlocked behind me, I'll be able to come back the same way. There it is, the book from the library. Got it. The Kingdom of God is Within You by Leo Tolstoy. This looks ancient, pre-collapse for sure. A number of pages are marked in the margins, likely to easily find them. Even if one of the marked pages contains the quote I need, there's too much text. I'll need more to go on. Maybe someone who had regular contact with Leonard would know the quote if they saw it. Hello, Rolf.
Hey, look, I'm pretty busy here. Not really a good time to talk.
This can't wait. You heard about your brother, right?
It's a small town, what do you think?
Sorry about your loss, but I really need to ask you some questions.
Fine.
What can you tell me about yourself?
I'm not in the mood for small talk. Ask your questions so I can get...
Do you know who Katarina Berg is, the school teacher? She also calls herself Melinda.
Sure, I've seen her around, but that's pretty much it.
What do you think of Walter?
He's kind of a loon, isn't he? And coming from me,
What kind of relationship did you have with your brother?
The sibling kind. We weren't enemies, if that's what you're asking. The rest is really none of your business.
What kind of relationship?
The sibling.
What do you know about the conduit?
You know I'm a gardener, not an electrician, right?
That's not... Never mind. I'm sorry, Rolf, but I have to ask you about your brother's death.
I know, and I wish I had something to give you, but I don't know what happened.
So you have no idea who'd want to kill Leonard?
It's gotta be the nutjob who killed those other people, right?
It's possible, but far from certain. When was the last time you talked to your brother?
A week and a half ago, or so.
Okay, how did he seem? What did you two discuss?
He was his usual self, but what we talked about is private.
Look, every little detail matters. What he said could be the key to finding his killer.
I'm not gonna betray his trust. If you want to arrest me, go ahead.
What can you tell me about the Church of Epos? I know for a fact that your brother was a member.
So? That's not a crime.
Come on, Rolf, work with me. Don't you want me to catch your brother's killer?
Yes, he was a member, but I'm not. I spent 10 years trying to get him out of that place.
Why would you do that?
Because he changed. He became this sullen, slow, serious, fucking block of a person. He used to be so full of life, you know? I know he died just yesterday, but the Leonard I grew up with, he's been dead for a long time.
I understand, Rolf. No, I don't want to tip him off before I figured out. I should keep this to myself. I should keep... Do you know who this...
Sure, it's that teacher.
Yeah.
All right.
That's it, for now.
Good.
Can you answer a few more questions?
I suppose.
Do you remember Leonard quoting a book?
He used to say this phrase every now and then. Not sure if it's from a book, though.
Yeah? What was the saying?
I don't remember exactly. Something about life and being human, I think. Sorry, might recognize it if I saw it.
Do you know Rolf, the plant master?
Sure, he brings our gardening waste to the recycling center every week. He's kind of an asshole, though. Always seems to be trying to rip you off.
Have a look at these marked pages. Does anything remind you of things Leonard used to say?
Give me a minute, will you?
Sure.
Here. The sole meaning of life is to serve humanity. Leonard used to say that whenever I was late for work.
Perfect. Thanks.
No problem.
I'll let you get back to your drink.
Okay, good luck out there.
A strange woman and...
Bene ragazzi, allora anche per questa puntata di Whispers of a Machine è tutto. E siamo entrati all'interno della confraternita e abbiamo un po' indagato, abbiamo parlato diciamo con quello che sembrerebbe essere il capo e abbiamo trovato degli indizi per quanto riguarda anche Lennart, che era diciamo il capo della fabbrica che è stato schiacciato dal macchinario. E niente, quindi stiamo indagando e vediamo un po' che cosa uscirà fuori nella prossima puntata. Come sempre, se vi è piaciuto il video mettete un like e ricordatevi soprattutto di iscrivervi al mio canale wrestling. Ciao e alla prossima!